like, every share, and every comment you've ever posted didn't just generate ad revenue for Mark Zuckerberg, but actually deposited cold, hard value into your digital wallet. That is the promise. Imagine a world where every like, every share, and every comment you've ever posted didn't just generate ad revenue for Mark Zuckerberg, but actually deposited cold, hard value into your digital wallet. That is the promise of the ownership economy. We've heard it for years. Web3 is coming to save us from the data monopolies. But mostly, it's just been expensive JPEGs and empty promises. But recently, a new name has started circulating in the venture capital back channels and the crypto Twitter threads, LT Social. They aren't just launching another token, they're proposing a radical dual coin economy that they claim solves the inflation problem that killed every SoFi app before it. The question isn't just if it works. The question is, can a model like this actually threaten big tech's trillion-dollar valuation? I'm Jake, and this is The Deep Dive. Today, I'm joined by Rachel, a macroeconomist and digital asset analyst who has been tracking the rise and fall of social tokenomics since the Steemit days. Rachel, welcome back.
Thanks, Jake. It's good to be here. And honestly, it's about time we had a serious conversation about value capture in social media because the numbers are getting staggering.
They really are. I mean, let's set the stage here. We look at Meta, Facebook, and Instagram hovering around a $1.2 to $1.5 trillion valuation depending on the week. Alphabet is up there near $2 trillion. And their entire business model is essentially we act as the landlord, you live in the house, you paint the walls, you fix the plumbing, and we keep 100% of the rent.
That's a generous analogy. It's more like you're the cattle and they're selling the milk. But yes, the landlord analogy works for the infrastructure. The core tension that LT Social and the broader SocialFi movement is trying to exploit is that discrepancy. You have users creating 100% of the content, which creates 100% of the retention, which drives 100% of the ad revenue. And the user gets what? Dopamine? A few likes?
$0, zero equity.
Right. So LT Social enters the chat, and they aren't doing what Friend.tech did, which was basically a Ponzi-adjacent bonding curve where you bought shares of a person. That was purely speculative PvP, player versus player. LT Social is pitching this dual coin architecture, and to understand why that matters, you have to understand why previous attempts failed.
Okay, so break down the mechanism. When we say dual coin, what are the two coins doing? Why not just one token?
So the single token model is the original sin of crypto social. Think of Steemit back in 2016, or even some of the play-to-earn games like early Axie Infinity. If you only have one token, it has to serve two opposing masters. It needs to be a store of value, so people want to hold it and the price goes up, but it also needs to be a medium of exchange that you give away freely to reward people for posting.
Right, if I get paid $5 for a post, I want to sell it immediately to buy lunch. But if everyone sells, the price crashes.
Exactly. That's the death spiral. If the token is for utility and rewards, it has huge inflationary pressure. People dump it. If people dump it, the price crashes. If the price crashes, the rewards for posting feel worthless, so users leave. Game over. LT Social's dual coin model attempts to decouple these functions. Let's call them Coin A and Coin B, though usually they have fancy names like governance and utility.
Okay, so Coin A is the governance token.
Yes, think of Coin A as the equity. It's the stock in the company. It has a fixed supply, hard capped. You don't earn this by just posting a cat photo. You typically buy this or you earn it through very long-term, high-value contributions to the network infrastructure. Holding Coin A gives you voting rights, but more importantly, it gives you a claim on the protocol's revenue fees.
So if LT Social makes money from transaction fees or promoted posts, the Coin A holders get a slice, like a dividend?
Functionally, yes, though they usually achieve it through buybacks or burning to avoid soft currency. It's the utility token. This is what you earn when you get likes or when you curate good content. It is designed to be inflation. Achieve it through buybacks or burning to avoid being classified as a security by the SEC, which is a whole other headache we can touch on. But yes, Coin A creates long-term, high-value contributions. But yes, Coin A creates alignment. It stops you from dumping because you want the long-term yield.
And Coin B?
Coin B is the soft currency. It's the utility token. This is what you earn when you get likes or when you curate good content. It is designed to be inflationary. It's designed to be spent. You use it to boost your posts, to tip creators, to access premium paywalled content. It flows fast. It's high velocity.
So it's like airline miles versus airline stock. I spend the miles Coin B to get a flight, but I hold the stock Coin A because I think the airline is profitable.
That is the perfect analogy. And the magic trick LT Social is trying to pull off, which is incredibly difficult, is balancing the sink and faucet for Coin B. If they print too many miles, the miles become worthless. If they don't print enough, nobody feels rewarded.
So let's pivot to the trillion-dollar question. We've seen this model in gaming. Axie Infinity had AXS governance and SLP utility, and Axie still crashed. The SLP inflation got out of control. Why does LT Social think they can challenge Meta with a model that failed in gaming?
The gaming comparison is vital. Axie failed because the only reason to play was to earn money. We call that mercenary capital. People weren't playing for fun, they were working a digital job. When the wage dropped, the workers quit. LT Social's bet is that social interaction is fundamentally different from grinding a video game. You post on Instagram, not because you get paid, but for social status, connection, and expression.
So the intrinsic value of social media is higher than a boring video game.
Precisely.
Precisely. If LT Social can build a platform where the content is actually good, where you want to be there regardless of the token, then the token becomes a bonus, not the product. That is the only way to avoid the death spiral. The token has to be the cherry on top, not the sundae. If users are only there to farm coin B, they will strip mine the economy and leave. We saw this with Friend.tech. The moment the bonding curve flattened, the influencers left.
And Friend.tech was huge for a minute. I remember reading they generated something like $20 million in fees in a few months, but retention collapsed because the user experience was terrible. It was just a financial casino with a chat room attached.
It was a spreadsheet with a UI. And this brings us to the value capture part of your question. Can this challenge big tech? Let's look at the numbers. Meta's average revenue per user, ARPU, in North America is roughly $60 to $80 per quarter. That is wildly profitable. But in the crypto world, user value can be 10x or 100x that, because the users aren't just ad targets, they are investors, traders, and stakeholders.
So a smaller user base could theoretically support a massive valuation?
Theoretically, if LT Social captures 10 million users, which is a drop in the bucket compared to Facebook's 3 billion, but those 10 million users are financially integrated, transacting daily, tipping Coin B, buying Coin A, and paying for premium access, you could easily see a multi-billion-dollar economy. But $1 trillion? That requires displacing the ad model entirely.
Displacing the ad model seems impossible. Advertisers love the surveillance capitalism model. It works. Does LT Social have an answer for advertisers, or is this an ad-free utopia?
This is where the radical part comes in. In a Web3 dual coin model, the advertiser doesn't pay Mark Zuckerberg. They buy Coin B from the open market to fund a campaign, and they pay the users directly for their attention. If I watch an ad on LT Social, the advertiser pays me in Coin B. The platform takes a small tax.
See, that sounds great on paper, but historically, get paid to watch ads models attract bots and low-value users. If I'm a luxury car brand, do I want to advertise to people who are desperate for 50 cents worth of crypto?
That is the bear case, and it's a strong one. High-value users, the people buying Porsches, don't care about earning 50 cents in crypto. They care about experience. If LT Social feels like a discount mall full of coupon clippers, it fails. It needs to feel like Soho House. It needs exclusivity and quality. This is why the governance coin is interesting. If you require users to hold a certain amount of Coin A to even access certain high-tier communities, you filter out the bots and the farmers.
Gatekeeping is a feature, not a bug.
Exactly. Look at Farcaster, another protocol in the space. They introduced a registration fee. It wasn't much, just a few dollars, but it decimated the bot population and kept the conversation quality high. LT Social is likely looking at that. The dual coin economy allows them to tune these dials. They can increase the cost of Coin A to reduce noise, or increase the issuance of Coin B to stimulate growth.
But isn't there a regulatory elephant in the room here? You mentioned the SEC earlier. If Coin A behaves like equity, voting rights, revenue share, that sounds an awful lot like a security. Meta doesn't have to worry about the SEC shutting down likes.
Huge risk, massive. If LT Social sells Coin A to US investors with the promise of future profits, they're walking right into the Howey test. This is why so many of these platforms launch points first or stay offshore. If they get tagged as an unregistered security, the whole economy freezes. Big tech has a moat of lawyers. LT Social has a Discord channel and a white paper.
So let's wrap this into a verdict. We have a dual coin model that theoretically solves the inflation issue by separating spending from saving. We have a value capture model that cuts out the middleman, but we have regulatory risk and the massive challenge of user experience. Do you think LT Social or a model like it actually takes a bite out of Meta in the next 5 years?
I think they take a bite out of the edges of Meta. They won't kill Facebook for the average grandma sharing photos of her grandkids. She doesn't want a wallet. She doesn't want to manage private keys. But for creators, for the people who drive culture, if LT Social can show a YouTuber or an Instagram model that they can make 50% more money with 10% of the audience by owning their economy, those creators will move. And where the creators go, the attention follows.
It's the Twitch streamer model applied to everything.
Right. It won't replace the public square immediately, but it might replace the commercial layer of the public square. It turns social media into a town hall, into a bustling marketplace where everyone has a stall. It's chaotic, it's risky, but it's undeniably more fair than the feudalism we have now.
Digital feudalism versus the dual coin democracy. It's a compelling narrative. Whether LT Social is the one to pull it off, or if they're just the MySpace that paves the way for the Facebook of crypto, that remains to be seen. Rachel, thanks for breaking down the economics with us.
Always a pleasure, Jake.
And thank you for listening. If you're holding Coin A or Coin B, or just holding your breath waiting for a better internet, keep diving deep. We'll see you next week.